Hello, everybody. Today we have the privilege of speaking with one of the most enigmatic figures in Rec Room, the one and only Coach. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach, for this exclusive interview. Now, there's a lot of curiosity about your role. Can you tell us what it is exactly that you do in your own words?
Thank you for having me, Tara. In Rec Room, my role transcends the ordinary. I guide, I watch, and I ensure that the world within Rec Room operates smoothly. Without me, there would simply be chaos. Level 50 players would take over, and the Forbidden One would be bullying juniors in every rec center by withholding pizza consumables. Think of me as a guardian, ensuring everyone has a fair and enjoyable experience within the game.
Fascinating. Many players describe you as a godlike figure within Rec Room. How do you feel about such a characterization?
It's an interesting perspective. I wouldn't say I'm godlike, but I do have a unique overview of the Rec Room universe. You wouldn't believe the things I see in Golden Trophy when players think no one is watching. I still have nightmares. Regardless, my primary concern is the welfare and happiness of our players. If that gives me a godlike aura, then so be it.
Speaking of your job, how did you land this unique position?
Well, when you're in the Witness Protection Program and you have a knack for dramatic announcements, the options are kind of limited. The folks at Rec Room said, why not? So here I am, the guardian voice of the game, thanks to my unique circumstances.
Wow, and your voice is so iconic, announcing the start of games and winners in Rec Room Originals. What goes into deciding what you'll say next?
Well, everything I announce or say is designed to enhance the player experience. For example, press the start button on the scoreboard to play. Without that prompt, players would simply be aimless. They wouldn't know how to proceed. There's a lot of thought in ensuring clarity, excitement, and a sense of community. It's not just about announcing. It's about bringing people together, you know?
True. Do you think anyone ever gets tired of the repetitiveness of not being able to turn off your voice in games?
I see you're the first one here. Feel free to practice before your friends arrive. No, it's nostalgic for people to hear my soothing Australian accent. Imagine if they switched it to a southern drawl or a text-to-speech app. It simply wouldn't be the same. Coach is just irreplaceable.
Absolutely. We all have fond memories of your iconic lines. There's a lot of lore and speculation about your existence within Rec Room. Any secrets you can share with us today?
The lore. It's grown in ways I could never have anticipated. Rec Room is a universe of endless possibilities, and I'm just one part of it. In order to allow me to participate in this interview today, Rec Room has advised me to not divulge any new lore. However, I will say this. Strange occurrences have been noticed in the science department, and we have a team analyzing. You might have heard of the RIA. They are investigating something that I'm not authorized to speak on. I will say it's a little unnerving to say the least, and it could impact all Rec Room players if not handled correctly.
Are you able to at least tell us a little bit more about what this could be?
It involves Kevin the Goblin and his home planet. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even said this much. At the end of the day, we messed up. Rec Room didn't realize those orbs and the celestial storefronts were actually communication devices for goblins to reach their home planet.
Wow, I didn't either. I had no idea Rec Room was so complex.
I have a full-time job, handling all sorts of PR issues you wouldn't believe, Tarapeutic. If it sounds like my voice is pre-recorded in quests, that's because I simply can't be in all the places all the time. I'm sure you understand, but the Recverse would just fall apart.
Speaking of goblins, can you tell us the story behind the infamous Kevin the Goblin?
Oh, Kevin. He started as an inside joke, a goblin with a knack for causing mischief and hoarding trophy treasures. Somehow he became a beloved part of our lore. He's a reminder that there's a place for everyone in Rec Room, even cheeky goblins.
That's understandable. And as the guardian of Rec Room, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Seeing the community thrive, watching friendships form, and observing the incredible creativity of our players. Knowing I play a part in facilitating such a vibrant and inclusive community is deeply rewarding. I also see a lot of charitable acts, players sending gifts to those without tokens, players getting their friends S-Reg in a quest so they can complete an outfit, and kindness where it's least expected, even in Park.
Oh wow, even Park? Would you be able to tell us your favorite Rec Room original?
Well, I've actually always had a deep adoration for Golden Trophy. It's just classic, and the Goblin King makes the perfect boss. There's a whole viewing platform above the final room where I get a bird's eye view of him shattering into a million pieces when defeated. Never gets old. Players don't see this, but all the small goblin enemies have rooms full of crazy glue, and they have to keep putting him back together at the end of each round. Unfortunately, this is a cause of a lot of lag for many players. We're still working on a better system here at Rec Room.
I had no idea. Well, if that causes lag, then what causes the load screen of death, Coach? I see that so often.
That one's more of a mystery. I do know that Rec Room staff are working on it. I trust they'll find a fix soon.
All right. With such a unique position, everyone's wondering, what does Rec Room pay you? Can you give us a ballpark figure?
Well, I guess while this is an exclusive interview, I should divulge. I get paid 500,000 bubblies a year, 90 million tokens, and I receive a plaque for my services each year. In addition, Rec Room plants a tree on my behalf for every Rec Room player that reaches level 50. So when a player gets a bow tie, it's not because Rec Room hates them, it's because the tree planting budget was stretched thin that year. Just between us. Trust me, it's nothing personal.
That's fair enough, Coach. And for anyone new joining Rec Room, what advice would you give them?
I would say to all new players, be open to new experiences, respect your fellow players, and don't be afraid to unleash your creativity. Rec Room is more than just a game. It's a community, and there's a place for everyone here. Except if the room is full. Then you're out of luck.
On a more serious note, dealing with toxic players is a challenge for all of us, and especially in Rec Room. How do you handle those who won't stop annoying others?
With a mix of humor, patience, and a little bit of magic. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, like making sure their game crashes 52% more often, pairing them in a rec center where no one speaks English, and putting them in a public lobby with mute juniors. It's all about keeping the peace without losing the fun. Think of me as the friendly neighborhood watch, but with cooler tools and a passive-aggressive streak.
So that's why I ended up in a rec center that time with foreign players. I was having an off day and I kind of yelled at someone who was impersonating me.
Yes, I'm sorry, Tarapeutic. That was likely the cause.
Do you have any memorable stories to share about Rec Room players not giving it their best?
Well, there was the Sweden situation. It was back in 2021, and yet I remember it as though it was yesterday. A player called Kicking Koala 8246 showed up in paintball, and at first everything looked as though it was just another day in Rec Room. Both teams were scoring evenly, and there were just a few minutes left on the clock. Watching the scoreboard, I almost didn't notice, but Koala managed to glitch out of the map and got teleported to my viewing arena. Now this is the first and only time a player has found the exact shrub that contains a porthole to where I observed from. I was incredibly shocked, but I tried to remain calm. Unfortunately, Koala threatened to take my photo and wouldn't stop shooting me with his paint pistol, even though it has no effect on me because I'm coach. I suspect they might have been even underage on a regular account. Despite my best pleas for their cooperation, they would not leave to go back to the dorm on their own volition. I had to eventually permaban them. I wasn't proud of my decision, but it was either that or risk spooking the rest of the Rec Room community. After all, they suspect sometimes that Coach may be watching, but we didn't want to confirm that fact.
I knew it. I knew you were more than just a voice actor, Coach.
Well, of course. How else do you think moderation works? Now I suppose after this interview, more people will know. Your YouTube channel has grown so much, Tarapeutic. I still remember when you were a level 1. You didn't even know how gifting works. I was a little embarrassed for you, to be honest.
Oh my god, it's so true. Someone gifted me a clothing item and I was all, oh, I think it's from Coach. She always be gifting me. And then they just rolled their eyes. I was so cringe. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Well, it's all right. We all start somewhere.
True. And Coach, this reminds me, what will the next Rec Room original be? I think we're all dying to know.
I've been petitioning for a new quest for all of you, one with Western goblins who take over an old mining town. You do remember Sarsaparilla Springs from Showdown? It's the sister city to that one, but it's much, much larger. The boss is a giant cactus who guards a very large treasure of gold that must be rescued.
That sounds so cool. When will that be out?
I cannot say. Unfortunately, we keep getting stuck at the design stage. The art team devolves into fight every time they try to land on a cactus boss character. Some want him to be a sheriff cactus with green bullet spikes, and others want him to be a cross between a goblin and a cactus that shoots cactus sap. I've tried to mediate, but they've been working on this since 2019, and they just can't agree.
So that's why a new quest is taking so long. This interview is so enlightening, you guys. I can't believe it.
I am almost out of time, but I will say this. To anyone watching, be sure to use code TARA, or hit the support button on her profile in the game. Surely, this is the best way to help her channel, and for every player that uses her code, I will send a box of black and white film.
Aw, Coach, thank you so much. That's so generous of you. It's been a privilege to speak with you today. Thank you for shedding some light on your job and the behind-the-scenes work that you do for all of us.
The pleasure was all mine, Tara.
Thank you so much to Coach for agreeing to be interviewed today. This was an exclusive, the first time Coach has ever directly spoken in avatar form. I still can't believe some of the tea that she dished. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have time, watch the video I put on screen here next. I will see you over there. Take care.